You got a vehicle that's diving or lunging to one side when you try to brake, this video is for you. I'm going to try to help you out. What is up, guys, and welcome back. Check it out today. I just want to make a video to try to help you out because I had a problem that kind of got a little frustrating. I got into fixing it and stuff and finally got it fixed, and I figured I might as well make this video because there's probably a lot of people out there having the same kind of problem, and if I can help at least one person out there, it's well worth it. The problem is a 2016 Jeep Wrangler. Now this will work for just about any kind of modern car because it comes into play with a part that they all have. You'd be rolling around, you go to push your brakes, and if you push them anything past really light, it'd want to throw you up and to the right. It want to throw you up and to the right into curves, and that was real dangerous because it would change the vehicle's the weight on the road, and if you were going to like the left, it'd want to throw you into the curve. Not safe. Diagnosing. So now what I did, I thought it was maybe air got into the brake line system. I went and tried to bleed all the brakes, didn't do anything. So then I figured the obvious, it must be the caliper sticking, the caliper's not working. So I went and bought new calipers, new rotors, new pads for the front, everything. So I'm just sharing this with you because that's a normal thing that would fix it. But it didn't fix it. Now, sometime in the process of getting together and ordering all these parts, I saw some kind of video of some guy that said a lot of the newer vehicles, the brake hoses will go bad and they'll cause you all kinds of haywire. So I don't know why, but I went ahead and ordered some, figured while I'm in there I'm going to go ahead and fix those. So here's the deal. I went in, I changed out the rotors, I changed out the calipers, I changed out the pads. And when it came time to do the hoses, I looked at the hose and the hose was absolutely perfect. This is a newer car. It's a 2016, almost 17 car, and the hoses were absolutely perfect. So I took off the end of the hose, looked in it, tested it out, it was fine. Took off the other side of the hose, it was fine. So I left the factory hose on, put everything back on. Now when I went to bleed the brakes, it was goofy. The brakes, I was using an automatic brake bleeder, one of these right here to be exact. So when I would use it, I'd build pressure, the fluid would come. It'd just keep coming, and when I let go, it would get weird. And it would stop and go back in, and then no more fluid would come. And then when I would go to pump again, there'd be all kinds of air again, just over and over and over and over. So this is what I found, and this was the problem. If you watched as much of this video so far, maybe this could be your problem too. And I hope it is, and you invested your time wisely. Let me show it to you. This right here is the brake line for the 2016 Wrangler I was talking about. I bought two of them. Like I said, whenever I do brakes, I always do the pair, the front pair or the back pair. And I took the one in question and I cut it all up and went all into it to see what the problem was, and I can show it to you. It's gonna be kind of hard to film. So if you look here, you can see the brake line, and you've got a nice healthy in there. So you got a nice healthy hose, and I'm going to come into this, take a good look at that. Later on we'll talk about that. Now I ran all through the hose, and the hose all looks fine, everything. And then I took one of these picks right here, and I can sail it right through all of the hose, all the way through all of it. All of it's fine, but the part that goes through the strut tower that actually grabs the hose and fixes it and keeps it from getting all tangled up in your wheel and all the moving parts and stuff, right through there is corrosion. So when I go to put this in here, that's as far as I can get it. And when I look down in there, it's not like rust or anything. The rubber is frayed. And let me show you exactly what that's doing and what the problem is. So what's happening here is our good brake line. We've got everything here, exterior, interior. Now this is all open, this is all even. So whenever I apply the brake, I've got good pressure coming through the hose and out to the brake. When I release the brake, it's allowing the pressure back off, and it can go either way at once. So that's nice and healthy both ways. Now another thing to look at when you take it apart, they've got little bands in them. And the bands in them are nice, they got a nice diameter to them, perfect circumference or whatever. And you got a nice open hole in the middle here. And now when it gets corroded, those little bands get all dismembered. They're not perfectly circular, and then they all start to close in, causing your hold to get closed up. That wasn't my case. My case over here was where it went through that part that held it onto the strut holder right here. It was corroding inside. It was breaking down the rubber. Now the rubber, it was loosening and getting these flaps in it all over the place. So what it was doing, it was allowing complete and total flow of brake fluid up to the brake. But then when you let go of the pedal, when the brake fluid went back to return, it was getting caught, hung up like a plunger, and these were shutting off and leaving all this pressure right here in the brake. And when I was bleeding it, I was pulling the fluid through, and when I was letting go, it was stopping at this point and letting all the fluid out and keeping the air retained in the line from there. Now another note I forgot to mention, this started, and then by the time it was completely fixed, it was about a month to 2 months where I started to think what's going on. Then it started to get worse, and then I started to order parts, and they started to get here, and then I did the project. It got worse as it was going. At first, it was just doing a little bit of lunge, and then it turned into a big lunge. And then also, toward the end, right before I fixed it, I noticed that it was causing a smell, and it was keeping that brake caliper locked up on one side. Because what it was doing was it was keeping all of the pressure trapped right here and wasn't letting it go back. So that's another thing that might be an indicator you've got this problem. Good news is these right here, the hoses for this Jeep model that I did were $24.99 a piece. That's only 50 bucks for the pair. And like I said, if you got one that's bad, you got to get two because the other one's going right behind it. So hopefully this fixes you. I want to thank you guys for taking your time to watch this, and I really hope that this is your problem if you watched it this far. Best of luck to you. Hey guys, that's all I have for today. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you didn't like the video, check out the people on the bottom of my channel called Bad Mofos. Hours and hours of fun. Please click the subscribe button. Check out my channel for all kinds of other stuff that'll keep you busy and just make all kinds of parties, and just put it on the background of the party, and it's just like woo. Thanks again for watching. Take care. Later. Peace. Got your fucking bro.